Everyone hypes up Japan for being really cheap to travel to, but I found that just wasn't the case. Like, don't get me wrong, it was really worth it, but it was just a lot more expensive than I was expecting. Especially if you're going in between cities, those bullet train tickets add up. And it's also really hard to get around because Japanese is such a confusing language. And since I was already spending a ton of money, I wanted to make the rest of my trip as easy as possible. And I know using Google Translate would have definitely caused me more stress because of how long it takes to use. So in order to make my trip as easy as possible, I went with a really good translation app. It's called Kofont, and what makes it really special is its live translation feature. Basically, you can say a phrase in English and it'll automatically play the Japanese translation. And vice versa. If you say a Japanese phrase, it'll play the English version. And here's an example.
すみません。このレストランへの行き方をご存知ですか?
And this just made my trip a lot easier. Because if I'm spending that much money to go to Japan, I want to make the trip as easy as possible. And one of the ways was by using a good translation app. And by the way, I'll be sharing more tips and tricks from my Japan trip, so make sure to save this video and follow for more.